Last night, Israel finally attacked Iran. There's some confusion over what exactly happened, so we're going to break down exactly what we know so far for you. Also, it looks like the invasion of Rafah and Gaza is actually happening, and the International Criminal Court is possibly poised to arrest Bibi Netanyahu. I'm Ben, and this is the Israel Guys. Welcome back to the Israel Guys, where we believe in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda. You should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Thank you so much for joining us once again here at the Israel Guys. Once again, a reminder for you to come and show your support for the nation and people of Israel in Nashville, Tennessee at the end of May. TheIsraelGuys.com/summit is where you can find all of that information. Last night, Israel finally struck deep inside of Iran. Reportedly, they targeted a military base close to the city of Isfahan, I guess. Was just not directly on the Iranian border. Israel could have flown over Iraq and targeted military targets right on the Iranian border, but this city is 275 miles inside of the Iranian border, pretty much directly in the middle of Iran, which is an enormous feat. The Iranian media initially denied any Israeli missile attack, claiming that they just shot down some small drones. Then the government of Iran came out and said that the bombing of the military base in Isfahan had failed. So did it not happen or did it fail? There's a lot of mixed messages coming from inside of Iran. They basically admitted that this happened as of this point. There are photos that surface of a missile booster in Iraq from an Israeli missile, like a booster stage that was used up and fell off from an Israeli missile. So it seems like maybe missiles were used, if that was true. It also seems like their first wave of an attack was Israeli suicide drones that took out the missile defense systems on the Iranian border. And then there's mixed messages as to whether Israel actually bombed the airbase with F-35s or used missiles or a combination of both. There were reports of Israeli fighter jets seen in the sky over Iraq, F-35s. There's reports of American jets seen over Iraq, American refueling plane. That's what we know so far. Iran has come out and pretty much stated that they won't retaliate on Israel for this attack. And it seems like there wasn't any significant amount of damage in Iran from this attack from Israel. Is what we're seeing so far. This could change as more information comes out. This is hot off the press this morning. What this does make clear, though, is that we know that if Israel wanted to inflict significant damage in Iran, they could do so. And if they did not inflict significant damage, this means it's meant to be more of a statement, more of a flex on Iran than anything else. Like I said, Israel could have attacked on the border. They didn't. They flew 275 miles into Iran's interior to bomb. Unnecessary militarily, but necessary from a foreign policy perspective with Iran. Why did Israel do this? Why did they not do a full-on strike inside of Iran? There's a couple reasons that I think are playing, a couple of factors that are playing into this. One has to do with another story right now, which is that Israel is going forward with their invasion in Rafah. It appears as if the United States has given them the green light to do so. For weeks, the United States has been dragging their feet, telling Israel, don't go into Rafah. Civilian casualties will be too high. We won't back you if you go in. We should consider cutting aid. Everything that they could throw at Israel, they have been doing. But as soon as Israel makes a strike in Iran, the United States says, sure, you can go in. It'll be fine. We'll give you the green light. We'll give you the backing that you need to go in. We'll give you more aid. Which means the logical conclusion of that, also backed up with leaked reports from the Israeli and American governments, is that the Biden administration has been telling Israel, do not make a huge strike on Iran. Do a small strike, a symbolic strike. If you do, as a reward, we will back your invasion of Rafah and finishing off Hamas. There's been leaks from the American government into the press and to a number of the different newspapers, also from the Israeli government to that effect. A lot of people thought that the U.S. was pressuring Israel to not do any attack at all. And so maybe there was some back and forth negotiation there. Israel said, we'll do a symbolic attack, but we won't do a full-on attack, taking out Iran's nuclear bases in response for your backing of taking on Rafah. And Israel has been going forward with that. They're remobilizing Army Reserve units, sending them back to Gaza, shipping out tanks and APCs. And over the last couple of days, they've started bombing key targets inside of Rafah again. And for all the complications that this entails, between all the chaos in between America and Israel, this may not be such a terrible thing overall. It's totally going to depend on who you talk to. But Iran has been thoroughly humiliated here. Iran has stood up with an enormous amount of arrogance against the state of Israel, wanting to destroy them from off the face of the earth. They've been very clear about that. And I believe the Iranian people, at least the Iranian people that are antagonistic to Israel, there are some that show support for the nation of Israel as much as they can inside of a regime like Iran. But Iran has been completely and thoroughly humiliated. They shot hundreds of drones at Israel. They shot ballistic missiles at Israel. They shot smaller missiles at Israel. And 99% of them were intercepted by Israel and their allies. Israel responded with sending jets, not only over Iraq, but 275 miles into Iran for a symbolic strike. Israel's been very clear that if they can strike 275 miles inside of Iran, they can strike anywhere they want. If Iran crosses any red lines, they will do so, and they will take out all of Iran's nuclear research if they feel the need to do that. That leaves Iran in a very vulnerable place, and I believe they know it, and they've been thoroughly humiliated throughout this whole entire process. And as a bonus, Israel gets American support in finishing the war in Gaza and destroying Hamas from off the face of the earth, giving them the energy they need to turn their focus on Hezbollah and destroy the threat from Israel's northern border. There's a lot of 4D chess happening here. I think Israel's in this for the long haul. They need American support to finish this war, just from a financial perspective. They really do. I wish Israel were independent enough to be able to operate a war like this without American support. But Israel is a very small country, and it takes billions and billions of dollars to run a war like this, and it's just cash that Israel does not have. And thank God the United States has been coming to back Israel militarily here. But Israel has to play the politics in order for that to continue. That's just the way it is, for better or for worse. In a minute, we're going to get to the ICC, the International Criminal Court, possibly being on the cusp of arresting Bibi Netanyahu. Crazy story there. Don't go anywhere. But first, envision a soldier celebrating Passover amidst the chaos of the battlefield. In these times of hardship, Meir Panim emerges as a beacon of hope and solidarity, reaching from the tense borders of Lebanon through to the heart of Gaza and touching the lives of displaced Holocaust survivors and poverty-stricken families. Meir Panim is dedicated to ensuring that every defender of the land of Israel experiences the sense of liberation and unity inherent in Passover. Through the distribution of pantry essentials, prepaid food cards, festive meals, and Passover necessities like matzah, we extend a hand of support across the entirety of Israel. Meir Panim is inspired by Psalms 82, 3-4, which encourages us to defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed, rescue the weak and the needy, and deliver them from the hand of the wicked. We invite you to partake in reinstating the warmth and celebration of the holiday for those battling adversity. Be it unstocked kitchens, the pain of loss, or the yearning of a family member's safe return from Gaza, your aid ensures no one is left behind this Passover. Your prompt support is vital in affording them the joy and dignity of celebration. Make a difference today by donating to Meir Panim. You can click the link in the description below. So the International Criminal Court, the ICC, the ones who brought Israel to trial for war crimes a couple of months ago, special thanks to South Africa for that one, is considering issuing an arrest warrant for Israel's Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. There are 125 countries that are part of the ICC. Most of Europe is a part of it, and by treaty, these 125 countries are bound to uphold the arrest warrants issued by the ICC. meaning if they issue a warrant for Bibi Netanyahu and he travels outside of Israel to nearly any other country in the world, including pretty much all of Europe, they would be obligated by treaty to arrest him. Thankfully, the United States is not part of the ICC, so meaning the United States would be excluded from this. This is insane. This is patently insane that Israel's fighting a war of self-defense against Hamas and Hezbollah and Iran and Syria. They're fighting, and the Houthis, they're fighting this war, and the International Criminal Court is bringing them to trial for war crimes. For what? For what? For fighting a war in some of the fiercest, urban combat settings known to man, some of the harshest urban combat settings known to mankind in modern history, and having a less than a 1-to-1 civilian and terrorist casualty rate. What other countries fight a war like that? No other countries fight a war like that. They don't. You don't see it anywhere else. And so you're going to bring Israel to trial for war crimes and issue an arrest warrant for their prime minister, Bibi Netanyahu. There's really no other way to look at this other than flat-out anti-Semitism, the anti-Semitism that's been rearing its ugly head all over the world in many different forms over the last several years, whether it's students on campus in the United States or protesters in Europe or governments all over the world or now the ICC. Anti-Semitism is exploding out of control in the world, and that includes members of the right, members of the Conservative Party in the United States. People I used to look up to and respect are now jumping on this train, whether due to malice or ignorance or who knows what. They have been jumping on this train, and it's very, very concerning. Even people inside of the ICC right now are saying that the way that Israel's being handled and Netanyahu is being handled in the ICC is very irregular even for them. That all kinds of internal protocols are being breached and skipped and looked over. The Israeli government has been notified of this leak or whatever, whether it's true or a leak, and are considering how to take action from here. Israel needs your prayers right now. The Jewish people need your prayers, and they need you to stand with them right now more than any other time in history. You're here, right now. The events that are happening in Israel and with the Jewish people are happening right now, and it's your chance to stand up and say, what will I do to stand with them in this current generation for me and for my family and for the state of Israel? Guys, don't forget to consider supporting the people of Israel through the amazing work of Meir Panim. The link is down in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and get the conversation going down below. As always, tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening here in the land of Israel. We'll be back every day, Monday through Friday, with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.